Some things we just take for granted. If you have Norton 360, you can't take protection for granted much longer.
The software is going away, which means the millions of people who have Norton 360 will need to find another form of virus protection.
Thor Schrock recommends something out there today, and we're going to
It's the end of the world.
No. Yeah, he's here to compute this.
Endpoint.
Buy gold.
Yeah.
Oh,
Buy
wait.
gold.
Sorry, that's the wrong commercial.
Endpoint.
Endpoint is what it is.
Yes.
So what's endpoint?
Okay, so basically Norton 360 has been discontinued by Symantec. If you go to the Symantec website, and not just Norton 360, but Norton Antivirus and Norton Internet Security as well, they're replacing it with a new product called Norton Security Scan. Excuse me, Norton Security. Norton Security Scan is the freebie junk program that they give away so people will install it and then buy Norton products.
You say don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. What we recommend is if you have Norton 360 now, the first thing to understand is you paid for a subscription for a year when you bought it. And so you will continue to get updates for the course of your subscription. So in the short run, it's not like a throw your arms in the hair, you know, or throw your arms in your hair. There you go. Throw your arms in the air, my hair is on fire. That's what I was going for, but didn't quite come out. Go Monday. You know, it's not a huge emergency right now. I mean, you're going to be okay in the short run. But what's going to happen over time is while you will continue to get these definition updates, there aren't going to be any new scanning engine updates. So when new threats come out, new types of threats come out, I use the example in my radio show. I just made something up like the next virus threat's going to be a holographic virus. And your computer won't know how to protect you against a holographic virus. All of a sudden, you know, Bo Pelini's cat will just appear above your monitor, and it's just floating there, and it's telling you you're infected, and you have to give it 4 bitcoins. You know, what?
But defeats the purpose of.
But you won last
protection.
week. Yeah. So exactly. So when this new threat kind of comes along, your scanning engine won't know how to scan for it. So it doesn't matter what definitions you have at that point. If you can't scan for the threat, you can't detect it. So what we're recommending is that you move to a new level of protection. We sat down with Symantec and worked out an arrangement where we can offer endpoint licenses, which is the highest level security that Symantec sells.
That's commercial grade.
Yes, that's
right?
Fortune 500 government grade security, which normally nowhere else is available to consumers. But we set up an agreement with Symantec where we're able to sit down and offer that to consumers so that you can have the benefit of, you know, Fortune 500 security on your personal computer. And the trouble is you always needed a network administrator. We fill that role as a network administrator. So if there's a virus or something on your computer, we get an alert that says there's a virus and it was taken care of. Okay, no big deal, no need to call the customer. We get an alert that says there's a virus and it's on the computer and it requires attention. Then we call you and say, hey, your computer requires some attention.
But
Let's
we've
get it taken care
got to
of.
go through you to get endpoint. So what's that process like? Do
it's
I bring the
incredibly
computer?
difficult.
Well, and it's not. You're not paying Fortune 500 prices, are you?
No, actually, it is a little bit more expensive for us to purchase the licenses for Endpoint than it was to purchase the licenses for Norton 360. However, the good news there is we didn't raise our prices to consumers because realistically, you know, when consumers, even though it's in their interest to buy antivirus solution, you have to realize that, you know, despite all the great numbers we see out there, for a lot of people, the economy is not that great. And so to ask somebody to spend, you just got to spend another $30 a year on your antivirus, and it doesn't sound like a big deal. And then you break it down over a year. It's only like 10 cents a day.
But
you know.
for some families, for some
some
folks
families,
on a
it's a
fixed
big deal.
income.
That means they have to cut something. And so what we did, we kept the prices the same. But the nice thing about it is there's 2 ways you can get the solution on your computer. You can bring your computer in to Schrock Innovations, and we can install it, obviously, in the service center. We have 3 service centers, Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion. Omaha and Papillion are looking real good today on turnaround times. Lincoln is a little backed up, to be honest. The second possibility is we can do it over the Schrock desk.
I like that.
We're a little backed up on the Schrock desk, but we can put you on a list because we have some amazing deals going on that expire at the end of the month.
But what does that
Explain
mean?
what the Schrock desk is.
Sure, the Schrock desk is an online help desk. If you worked at a company and you've had a problem with your computer and then the network administrator remotes in and your mouse starts moving and things start clicking open, that's what the Schrock desk is.
So you'll access our computers from whatever location.
With
Right,
my
you-
permission.
You connect to
Yeah.
us, right? So we can't just willy-nilly connect to your computer. You connect to us, and then that's a one-time permission. And when we're done, the session's closed. And then if you need help again in the future, you have to
You
connect
have
to
to
us
give
again.
permission again.
Are there any limited quantities with this license through endpoint?
Great
Symantec?
question. Basically, we're Symantec, when they canceled Norton 360, they didn't tell anybody. They didn't even tell us. We have over 9,000 customers in Omaha and Lincoln on Norton 360. We didn't even get an email or a blog post or anything. And so we were selling licenses on the 23rd when they expired. Basically, they discontinued it on the 24th. So we said any customer of Schrock that bought it through Schrock with a Schrock warranty against infection, if you bought it in the last 30 days, we will upgrade you to Endpoint for free. We'll eat the cost on that because you trusted us, and that means something to us. Customers who purchased the Norton 360 more than 30 days ago, so maybe 6 months ago or so, we're going to allow those customers to renew into Endpoint. And when you think about that, if you have like Norton Antivirus and you want to go to Norton 360, you can't just renew your Norton Antivirus into Norton 360. A renewal means you stay with Norton Antivirus. So that's going on through the end of the month. If it's something you want to get in on, you have to get in this week to cash in on that savings. It saves you about $100.
Okay, so we have the locations which Schrock mentioned: Omaha, Papillion, and Lincoln. Online, it's SchrockInnovations.com, and we were looking at your website. There's some information about all of this there. So if you didn't catch all of the details, we encourage you to visit the site to
Or
read
you can just
up.
call. We'll tell you over the phone too. It's easy.
Perfect. Thank you, Thor.
And even
thank you,
I've
guys.
got you calling him by his last name now, Schrock. You said
Did I-
which Schrock mentioned.
You know, people do that and then they
yeah.
apologize like, oh, I'm sorry, Thor. I'm like, that's just good marketing right there.
He's been doing it for a few
That'd be
years.
great. Yeah, thanks.
I've tried
Thanks,
to
Schrock.
keep it
No sweat.
professional.
Good to
Thank
see
you.